Today, let's talk about how to work with AI or say large language model for writing or research strategically. The key here is using AI or large language model after developing your own cognitive capability, rather than let it do it for you. Use AI after initial independent thinking, not use it as a replacement for it. Develop your own thoughts before seeking AI assistant. Treat AI as an augmentation tool that enhances existing ability or complements the missing capability. There are two big weaknesses. Use large language model or AI directly generate the contents and why. First, the content from AI or large language model directly often lacks of depth and originality. AI is really good at mimic style and formatting. If you prompt it to rewrite the passage in the tone of Shakespeare, Queen Elizabeth, or Donald Trump, it can produce impressively accurate result. This is because AI learns the pattern effectively, but not the content itself. You still need to feed the core content to it to modify. What AI struggles with is generally originality of that content itself. As humans, we value novel insights, unique perspective, and creativity device like metaphor and synthesia, elements that lack clear historical pattern for AI to learn to imitate. Original thoughts often come from unstructured inspiration, experience, but not the average data. AI research conclusion by aggregating and averaging information. It is not arguments in the way that are emotional resonance or intellectual distinctive. That's why it can generate output that appear correct on the surface, but will often feel subtle off. That's why when you're new to something, AI will offer you great leap. But if you are the expert of a specific field, it makes sense to trust your own judgment and follow your own method over AI's. In summary, for those at intermediate or entry level, AI can be a useful tool to help reach a solid average output for content or research. But if you want to have a good result or extraordinary impact of convincing influence, AI can just be your assistant, but not your brain. The society still value more of the deep thoughts and original ideas. Second, AI content is homogenized. Another critical limitation of direct AI-generated content is its tendency to produce homogenized output. Because large language models are trained to predict the most probable next word based on amount of generalized data. They tend to follow the most common pattern, phrasing, and structure. They learn to minimize the average loss across all the predictions, make them average word predictors. For example, when user input genetic prompts, the response often contain strikingly similar word, arguments, and formats, regardless of who's asking and what the question is. The phenomenon could be called homogenized thinking and stems directly from how large language models function by calculating the statistical average rather than pursuing originality. In essence, AI is heavily shaped by the most common perspective in its training data, which leads to predictability and uniformity. The entire practice of prompt engineering, in fact, is often just an attempt to override this tendency and to specify to the model they need to behave in a specific way instead of doing the average or more common pattern, not from its default regression to the mediocrity. Drop a comment below how you use AI in your work. Hit the like button if you got some inspiring from this video. Subscribe for more real talk about where AI is taking us and how to stay ahead.